books that changed my life. In my last video, I discussed the impact that the Compound Effect by Darren Hardy had on my life and my learning highlights from this book. And for me, my main take from that book was developing good disciplines and good habits and then maintaining those on a consistent level. And following reading that book, my life really changed in terms of what disciplines I had to pick up. And I'm hoping that you've all by now you've developed that momentum, you keep going and you've got the big more, just like Darren calls it. And I hope you are using Audible, you are learning, you're growing and you're changing just like I am. Hello, my name is Trudy, and just over a year ago I commenced on this wonderful journey of mindset and personal development, and since then my life has actually never been the same. And following discovering mindset and personal development, I also discovered property investment, and I'm using that as a strategy to lead me to the life that I desire and the life that I design and the life that I am in control of and not somebody else. And I am obviously learning and I am growing and I am changing every day, and my life has not been the same since then. In today's video, I'm going to be covering this book here, The Magic of Thinking Big by Dr. David Schwartz. This was the 5th book that I read on my journey to mindset and personal development. And when I look at the title, The Magic of Thinking Big, I just think, what a perfect title for the perfect book. I so needed this book in my life at that point because I had been around negative influences for so long and I had just walked away from those influences, and I honestly did not know how to think big and think positively, or if I tried, I was meant to feel like something was wrong for thinking big and thinking positively. But this book here really helped me, and it transformed how I think, and it taught me how to think big and to think positively. So what did I learn? What were the main learning points from this book? The first point for me was building confidence and overcoming fear. And how do you do that? You do that by actually stepping out and doing those things that you're scared of. And I would give myself as an example in relation to stepping out and overcoming fear. When I first started my YouTube videos, I was so scared and I was so nervous. I almost couldn't speak because I was that nervous. And if you've seen my first video, which was on the benefits of investing in property as opposed to having your money in a savings account, and you compare that first video to how I am now today, you'll clearly see that I have developed confidence, I have moved on, and every day I am growing and I am getting better and better. And I did that. That has been the result of me stepping out and not giving up and not allowing fear to control me. And so I would encourage you to do the same. Don't be scared. Don't be scared to step out. Don't be scared to do things. Don't put them off. Don't let fear talk you out of what you could be doing that you really enjoy. And I also believe that in each one of us there is something special that could be serving or touching somebody else. Not everybody, but I believe in each one of us, you, me, everybody, we have something special that is designed to serve somebody. So do step out into your passions and into those things that you desire, and the more you step out, the more confident you're going to become. And the other thing that the book raises about overcoming fear and building confidence is actually doing the right thing. If you do the right thing, you feel confident about it. And sometimes, it's easy to cut corners or to cheat and lie. because it's an easy option in life. But actually, you cannot feel confident if you're feeling guilty. So don't cut corners, be honest. Let's be people who are truthful all the way, people who are honest, and develop good values for our lives, and just do the right thing. And the more we do the right thing, the more confident we are going to feel in ourselves, and actually in the people around us, because we know that we are doing the right thing. The other thing that the book talks about is confident people think positive thoughts. And you cannot be confident, or you cannot feel confident, if you think negatively about yourself or about others. If you're thinking, I'm too this, I'm too that, I'm too small, I'm too big, I'm too short, I'm too little, I'm not as good as they are, they are rich, I am not. If you think like that, you cannot feel confident about yourself. So it all starts from thinking positively, and when you think positively, that is going to show in how you present in life. I am known for saying things like, I am worthy, I am great, I can do this, because when I say that, it lifts me up and it gives me the confidence that I need for my everyday tasks, and for the success journey. In order to be successful, you have to think positive thoughts. I have not met any rich person who thinks negatively. They don't, or if they do, they do not dwell on it. They switch quickly. They don't dwell on the negatives of life. And point number 3 from the book is Dr. Schwartz talks about the size of your bank account and your general satisfaction in life being dependent on the size of your thinking, and how true that is. So true, because our thoughts affect how we feel, and then how we feel affects our actions, and then those actions then affect the results that we have in life. So I would like to encourage you to think creatively, think big, and that will show in the size of your bank account, because people think big and people think positively, they're most likely to be the successful rich people, and obviously their bank accounts are big. And who wouldn't like a big bank account? Who wouldn't want a lot of money in their bank account? I do. So I'd encourage you to just pay attention to what you think about, and also how you think affects how you feel, or how generally satisfied you are with life. So think big, happy thoughts, and you will be more happy and generally satisfied with life. Point number 4 from the book talks about the fact that as a man thinks in his heart, and sometimes people think you think in your heart, in your head. That's not for me to try and resolve in this video today. I think probably in both, but as you think in your heart, so you are. So if you think you're good, if you think you're great, then you're great. If you think you're going to win, then you're going to win. If you think you're going to lose, then you're definitely going to lose. So be careful, because what you think you are is actually what you are. So just be mindful of what you think about, basically. Point 5. Dr. Schwartz, in his book, uses a quote by Dr. Milton, and that quote says, "The mind can make heaven of hell, or a hell of heaven." And when I first read it, I couldn't really actually get what it was saying. I had to read it a number of times to get my head around it. And basically, it's just talking about people who complain. And there are people who just complain about everything. They might even have had just good experiences on holiday, but they come back from holiday and they'll still find something negative to complain about the holiday. So that is those people making hell of heaven. And yet you find that there are people who are probably going through a very tough time, but they remain calm, they remain poised, they remain cheerful, they are pleasant, they don't snap at anybody, and even in that, they're still actually ready to give. So I would like to be like those people who make heaven of hell, and I would like to encourage you to be the same, not to complain. about life. And if you're around people who complain all the time, honestly, I would say get away from them. You don't have to stay with them, because if you do, you will actually never move ahead in life, and that is the truth, no, nothing but the truth. Point number 6 from reading this book was about positive attitude. And Dr. Schwartz uses an example of somebody who's got one hand but with a positive attitude, and that person can achieve way far more than somebody who's got two hands but they've got a very poor attitude and a negative mindset to life. And if you've got a poor mindset, you cannot actually move yourself far. And my main learning point from this on that subject was actually the fact that if you have a negative mindset and a poor attitude, you're only working against yourself. You're not working against anybody but just yourself, and you cannot move ahead in life if you've got a poor mindset and if you've got a negative attitude. So I would like to encourage you, all my people, everybody, all my friends out there, to be mindful of your attitude. How do you approach life? Rich and successful people, they always have a positive mindset, they always have a positive attitude to life. And since reading this book, I decided that life was way too short to think little. So I think of progress, I think of fun, I think of happiness, I think of success and not failure. I think I'm going to win, not I am probably going to lose. And when you have that kind of attitude, it helps to push you forward on the journey to success and on the journey to achieving your goals. Point number 7 from the book is about excuses. And there are people in life who will have an excuse for everything. And Dr. Schwartz calls it, I hope I don't bite my tongue trying to say the word, excusitis. People who just like to give excuses about everything. I'm too old, I'm too young, I'm too big, I'm too small, I'm too tall, I'm too short, my health is not the best, the kids are still young, and always the excuses. And the more excuses you have of not doing things, then more you'll just stopping yourself from moving ahead in life. So let's get rid of those excuses. Let's just step out and do what we need to do to move us forward. And if we do, then we'll be successful, just like the rich and successful people are. The other point from the book, which is point number 8, is how do you answer when somebody says to you, how are you doing today? And that really challenged me, because I used to be one of those people who would say, I feel under the weather, I don't feel too well today, I don't feel great. And how we answer actually has an impact on how we feel, and not just how we feel, but that person who has asked us, who has taken the time to ask us how we are doing, it will affect them as well. So let's be mindful. There is a lot of power in our words. So since reading this book, I decided that when people ask me how I am, nowadays I say I am great, life is beautiful, I'm doing amazing. I don't use negative words to describe how I feel, but also I take time to compliment others, because when you compliment others, they feel good and it makes you feel good as well. So let's be people who are careful and mindful of what we say, what confessions come out of our mouth when somebody's asking us how we are, and let's add life and not take away from life. The other point from the book for me, which is point 9, was be determined and don't give up. And don't give up no matter what. If it's a lack of resources or if it's a lack of capital, find ways. There are joint ventures. Improve yourself. If it's a lack of skills, be creative. Add value to others. Go on self-improvement courses. Don't give up. just keep moving forward no matter what happens. If you have a determined attitude, you will definitely win. And all the successful people, they've got to where they've got to because they were determined and they did not give up, and they did not listen to the negatives, and they did not listen to the no. They found a way out. And you know what? If they can do it, so can I, and so can you, and so can everybody. And the last point from the book, which is point number 10, and again, I saved the best for the last, is negative influences. And having read a number of mindset books, they all talk about negative influences. And why is that the case? Because negative influences have so much power. And when I finished reading the book and prepping this session, I wasn't actually too sure what example to use, because sometimes I like to use my own examples after understanding the concept that is being explained. But a few days after the perfect example, I would say, dropped in my heart or in my head. I don't know whichever you call it, but I do have a perfect example. But before I share that example, I just want to say that I don't know who is watching this video, and I don't know who you share the video with, but I really, that example has not left my heart or my mind since it dropped in my heart. And because it hasn't left me, I am just going to share it because it might help somebody out there. I don't know who it's going to help, but I think it might help somebody out there. So I would like to say to you today that if you're going to a group or you attend a place, it could be a church, it could be anything, but if that place teaches and uses fear-mongering, scaremongering, if that place makes you feel inferior, if that place uses your weaknesses and your mistakes against you, instead of supporting you to become a better person, if that place stops you from moving forward, if you have an idea to move you forward, the idea is ripped apart or is discouraged, if you're going to that place, if you go to a place where you're discouraged from aiming high because you're supposed to be humble, or where a place where humility is seen as you not challenging unwanted oppressive authority, I would like to say to you today that if you're going to such a place, pick up your shoes and run. And I want to say it again, if you go to such a place, pick up your shoes and run. And why would I say that? Because negative influences is so bad. It's so bad, and it's worse than any form of fear there is out there. Because what it does is it feeds into your fears, and it just keeps you in that cycle of fear and negativity, self-pity, victim mentality, and you can never move forward if you're around negative people, or if you don't limit the time that you spend with negative people. I have not met any successful people who keep negative influences or who keep company with negative people. So if you want to move forward and make progress, you need to get away from negative influences regardless of who they are. You need to step away so that you can grow. And you know what, there is life to be lived. So if you stay around negative people, you are missing out. So I'd like to really encourage you, because I know it's not easy to walk away, especially if that's all you've known for a very long time. It's not an easy thing to just get up and go, but I'm telling you, you can do it. You've got it in you. You can step away and you can do it. Just to summarize from today's video, the main key learning points were building confidence and overcoming fear, positive thoughts all the way if you want to feel confident, the size of your bank account and your general satisfaction being dependent on the size of your thinking. Don't make excuses. How do you answer when people talk to you? And be determined. And lastly, get away from negative influences, or try and avoid them as much as you can. So those were the main learning points from today's video. In my next video, I will be talking about which one is it now? This one here, 7 Strategies for Wealth and Happiness by Jim Rohn. And for me, Jim Rohn is by far one of the best personal development philosophers out there. I absolutely enjoy reading Jim Rohn's material, and just like he says, how tall can a tree grow? As tall as it can. So in my next video, we'll be looking at this one here, this book, so watch out. And if you've not subscribed, I would encourage you to subscribe, and please like and share the video. Send me your comments and send me your suggestions, and let's continue to learn, grow and change together. Thank you everybody for watching my video today, and I'll see you in my next session. Thank you again.